Now, from the news team that's covering the Carolinas, this is Channel 9 Eyewitness News Sunday morning.
Breaking right now in Thailand, officials have started removing 12 boys and their soccer coach from this cave. They have been trapped inside for 15 days. The dangers they face along their route to safety and how long it could take. Plus, a local congresswoman is headed to the Texas border as kids remain separated from their families. What she'll try and accomplish today at an immigration detention center. But first, the heat is slowly starting to return to the Charlotte area. This is a live look at Uptown this morning, just how warm we'll get today and when the real heat cranks back up. Good morning. We appreciate you being with us. I'm Elsa Gillis.
And I'm meteorologist Jacqueline Shearer.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that little bit of a break from that heat. We're going to get a little bit more of a break today, but then that real heat comes back.
Well, you know what? The real difference with today, it's a little bit warmer, so not as nice and cool as yesterday. But the difference will be that we're not seeing those showers in the morning. We're not seeing that humidity really as we move through the day. In fact, here's a look right now at live early warning Doppler 9. We're sweeping an entirely clear image as we move into your morning hours, and it doesn't look like this will change a lot as we move through. We are expecting those temperatures to stay pretty cool over the next few hours, and in fact, they're already pretty cool. 64 degrees right now in Charlotte, 60 in Lincolnton, 60 in Hickory as well. By the time we get into the afternoon, we're only in about the mid-80s, about 5 degrees warmer than yesterday, so not too bad, but that heat is really returning. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes.
Back to our breaking news in Thailand. The rescue is underway for 12 boys and their soccer coach stuck inside a cave for 15 days now. We have a live picture to show you this morning from outside the cave. It is a wide view from where those boys are right now. The rescue mission began around midnight Eastern time. Depending on conditions, including heavy rains expected this week, it could take 2 to 4 days to get those boys to safety. Each will be accompanied by 2 divers as they make the 2-mile trek to safety. Thai officials say the boys are both physically and mentally ready. The first is expected to reach safety at 10 this morning at the absolute earliest. There are 13 ambulances standing by, ready to take each person to the hospital for treatment. Channel 9 is following every development in the cave rescue in Thailand. As soon as we get any new information, we will let you know on air and online at WSOCTV.com. Breaking overnight, troopers are investigating a rollover crash on I-85 in North Charlotte. This is video from our DOT camera at the Graham Street exit as troopers were on scene. They told us a driver hit another car and flipped over on the highway. Medics says 4 people went to the hospital. All are expected to be okay. We are asking what caused the crash and if any charges will be filed. And all lanes of I-77 are back open in Cornelius after a serious crash shut down the interstate for several hours. Firefighters told us at least 1 woman was airlifted to the hospital after she was trapped in a car. It's not clear how hurt she is or what led to the crash in that first place. Right now, Charlotte Congresswoman Alma Adams is headed to a detention center at the U.S.-Mexico border. Adams told Channel 9 she is going to the center in Brownsville, Texas today. She'll tour the facility, talk with officials, and make sure all kids are being taken care of as they remain separated from their families. Her tour starts around 4:30 this afternoon. Tomorrow, a judge will rule on a Trump administration request for more time to reunite families separated at the border. The administration still needs to reunite more than 100 kids under the age of 5. Yesterday, the Justice Department had to share a list of those kids with the ACLU. It sued the administration to force kids and families to be reunited. That hearing is set for tomorrow in San Diego. The Justice Department must have kids reunited with their parents by Tuesday. Channel 9 is following the immigration crisis closely, including Congresswoman Adams' trip today. You can find our past coverage on our website, WSOCTV.com. A man says he was on a morning jog with his dogs in Tega Cay when a coyote attacked them. One of the dogs was bitten. The man said it was a quick snip and thankfully didn't break the dog's skin. Quentin Huseman says he took his morning run in Lookout Park along Shoreline Parkway when the coyote suddenly appeared. He opened up to Eyewitness News reporter Stephanie Tinoco about his concerns for children in the area and why police told him they can't do much.
If it wasn't for the dog behind me, I would have been the one bit.
Quentin Huseman says he was running near Lookout Park and Shoreline Parkway in Tega with his two dogs, Gracie and Lily,
Sit.
when a coyote attacked.
It happened really quick. The coyote had snuck up on her, so by the time I had turned, it was already coming towards me, and all I could think was it was rabid.
Lily's bite wasn't too bad.
There it is. There's a mark right there.
And thankfully, Gracie scared the coyote off.
The concern I have is the two dogs are 90 pounds each. The coyote is probably 3/4 of the size of one of the dogs. So.
Huseman says he called the police to report the incident. He's concerned about the children in his neighborhood. He says officers told him they couldn't do much.
They came over right away, but said unfortunately the city made the decision to pull out the traps. They said the DNR's hands are tied until the city decides that they'll have traps again.
Huseman says this isn't the first time there's been an aggressive coyote encounter. He showed me this post by a neighbor who says 3 coyotes charged at her and her dog less than a week ago. Now he wants to meet with the mayor to address the community's concerns.
It's unfortunate for the animals, but you can't have coyotes attacking people.
Stephanie Tinoco, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
This isn't the first time Channel 9 has reported on problems with coyotes in Tega. Last year, Tega put down traps after residents complained the wild animals were attacking pets and posed a public danger. In 2 weeks, 4 coyotes were caught and euthanized. New this morning, the FAA is proposing tougher tests to make sure jet engines can survive bird strikes. The move was actually inspired by the miracle on the Hudson. 9 years ago, the flight headed to Charlotte made a dramatic emergency landing in New York City's Hudson River. Flight 1549 splash landed in the river after a bird strike took out both engines. All passengers and crew members survived. Now, right now, tests focus on fan blades running full speed. But Friday, the FAA proposed that manufacturers show the core of new engines can continue operating at lower fan speeds after a bird strike. That speed is often used for takeoffs and landings. 7:06 now, happening tomorrow night. President Donald Trump is expected to announce his pick for the Supreme Court. And this morning, the Wall Street Journal reports people familiar with the process believe Trump will choose Judge Brett Kavanaugh. He has a lengthy record of decisions, but he has been connected to the George W. Bush administration, which Trump has disavowed. There are several other contenders, including Judges Amy Barrett and Raymond Kethledge. Justice Anthony Kennedy announced he's retiring at the end of this month. Lawmakers will have to approve the president's pick, and experts say it will likely be a contentious process. We have new developments this morning on this now viral cell phone video. A woman claims she was racially profiled at a community pool in Winston-Salem after a pool employee asked for her ID. Now, that employee and his family have been forced from their home after his lawyer says they received death threats.
Where does it say that I have to show an ID to use my pool, my own pool? I'm just here with my baby, swimming.
This week, Jasmine Edwards wanted to spend the 4th of July with her son at the pool. Now, she says she was the only black woman there and was the only one who was asked for identification. The argument escalated after pool employee Adam Bloom called police.
We have a non-resident that refuses to leave. We'd be happy to have her here if she just shows some identification.
Prove to this gentleman that this turns green real quick. Turns green and it unlocks.
After Edwards' pool key fob worked, she demanded an apology, but cell phone video shows Bloom walking away. After the incident, Bloom resigned from his position as pool chairman for the Homeowners Association. Bloom's attorney claims the cell phone video is misleading. Tomorrow, family and friends will say goodbye to a volunteer firefighter who was killed in a crash. Investigators say Michael Goodnight was responding to an accident last week when he slammed into a car on Gold Knob Road. He was killed. 2 women in the other car were flown to a Winston-Salem hospital. The viewing for Goodnight will begin at 11 a.m. tomorrow at the West Liberty Fire Department. That's on St. Matthew's Church Road in Salisbury. His funeral will follow at 1 p.m. A process will then bring his body to Rowan Memorial Park, where he'll be buried. New this morning, Southern California authorities are reducing the number of evacuations after a massive wildfire in Santa Barbara County. Officials say the 100-acre fire is 80% contained and burned 20 buildings and homes. Many residents have already returned home.
The only thing we lost was our potting shed, so I think we're tremendously fortunate.
In Los Angeles County, water-dropping helicopters and firefighters on the ground are attacking this persistent fire. 2 people are facing charges in connection with a January shooting in Statesville that injured a 9-year-old. Police say Enrico Higgins fired more than 60 rounds inside a home on Caldwell Street January 6th. Freeman Jacoby Wells died in the shooting while the 9-year-old was hurt. Higgins faces 9 charges, including 4 counts of attempted homicide. He already faces murder charges. Reka Sadie Ellis is charged as an accessory. This week, a woman accused of killing her mother with a hatchet will be back in court. Gaston County deputies say Melinda Hargett called 911 March 2nd in mental distress. Moments later, her mother Martha called back pleading for help. Deputies found Martha dead in the front yard of her Stony Point Road home. Melinda was taken to Central Prison where she got a mental evaluation. She is expected to face a judge Tuesday morning. It is 7:10 and happening today. Several local fire and police departments will participate in the annual Carolina Brotherhood Ride. The ride honors firefighters, police, and EMS who have died in the Carolinas. This year's ride focuses on those lost in 2016, and that includes 3 local firefighters who died in the line of duty. Firefighter Joshua Warren died while exercising on the job. He worked for Alexis Lucia and East Lincoln fire departments. Pineville firefighter Richard Shelter died as he fought a golf store fire. And Cheryl's Ford fire captain Bradley Long died during a diving accident. Riders will meet at the Pineville Memorial Ballpark at noon today, then drive to Moncks Corner. Tomorrow at 7 a.m., they'll begin the bike ride from Moncks Corner to Pineville. It will take about 6 days. A live look outside right now as the sun comes up through our Lake Norman cam. The time now is 7:11 and it is really going to be a beautiful day, so be sure to get out and enjoy some of it. Meteorologist Jacqueline Shearer has an update on your forecast from Severe Weather Center 9.
Well, you know what? Yesterday was pretty cool. We only made it to 79 degrees, so it'll be a little bit warmer than that as we move through the day. The difference will really be that we're not seeing that shower coverage in the morning, and we're also not seeing that humidity. Here's a look at your temperatures as we move through the next few hours. 65 degrees as of this hour, about 75 degrees by 9 a.m., and then we'll make it to about the mid-80s today. 84 degrees for your forecasted high, well below still that average of 89, but don't expect it to last that much longer. By tomorrow, we're already back to that average high, and then we go right above it. I'll have all that detail coming up in just a few moments.
Violent protests in the streets of Haiti. New at 7:45, the reason people are protesting and the impact on Americans this morning. A motel intentionally set on fire. At 7:30, the code enforcement issues Channel 9 has investigated and the questions we are asking about that building. An elaborate plot to rob people. Next, the popular app police say a teen used to lure her victims in.